Hello and welcome back to the Japan Sim World channel, and today we are playing the Bokukan 5 Steam demo. Bokukan being short for Boku wa Koku Kanseikan, or literally, I am an air traffic controller, a series of PC air traffic control sim games as well as console and handheld spin-offs that have been developed by Technobrain, with releases going all the way back to 1998 as a matter of fact, and with the newest entry in this series slated for release in 2027, Technobrain has decided to put out a small demo of their upcoming 5th entry in this series. A demo that doesn't have much to it, as you'll see in a second. Matter of fact, it doesn't even contain any actual ATC gameplay, but I thought I'd make a quick video of my first impressions of this, as well as look back on the history of the series and how we've gotten to this point. So let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, well, I guess we only have one option. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, sunny. Well, let's take a look at what's going on. Are we actually going to control planes here? Terminal side scenario. What is that? Welcome to the world of Bokukan. In this demo, you can experience terminal side, a first for this series. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay, so we're just observing aircraft. Look at these NPCs. Oh, we get to use these binoculars? We have to insert money? Oh, okay. You can even sit down in one of these chairs. Now you're just in a fixed spot looking out at all these planes. Oh, that is funny. Alright. Very interesting. And of course, no Japanese, any sort of sim is complete without vending machines. What is up these stairs? Let's see. So now we're up a little bit higher. Get a clearer view of the airport here. Oh, that's scary. So this series of games started out with the first game titled, of course, Boku wa Koku Kanseikan, or I am an air traffic controller. Not the most creative of names, but it's certainly straight and to the point. Released in 1998, the game utilized a two-dimensional isometric camera with scaled-down, stylized airport and aircraft models. Gameplay was simple. As an air traffic controller, you handle arriving and departing traffic at several Japan airports through the use of clearances, holding patterns, and the like. Make sure you don't cause delays, and most importantly, avoid collisions and accidents, or it's game over. The original title and its many expansions that added additional airports were released for PC before being ported to the original PlayStation, as well as the Game Boy Advance, and eventually the Nintendo DS, taking advantage of the touchscreen controls. The DS version would end up seeing releases outside of Japan, both in PAL regions as well as North America. The North American release would receive this hilarious cover art along with the title Air Traffic Chaos, and would also go on to be nominated for GameSpot's dubious award titled The Best Game You've Never Played. The Nintendo DS release would end up being the only physical release so far of a Bokukan game outside of Japan, with remaining versions outside of Japan being digital-only releases. This game, in fact, or this part of I Am an Air Traffic Controller 5 is actually also personal to me. And the reason being is because I've been on Haneda's observation decks several times. I remember these big barriers that they had, and I remember not the exact views that I had seen before, but very similar, and I believe we had the binoculars as well. But I used to go up on the observation deck almost every time I landed at Haneda, and the reason why was because I think pretty much every time I flew into Haneda, it was usually at like 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and I would be waiting for the JR, the Japan Rail office, to open so I could get my rail pass if I had bought one ahead of time. But the rail pass office didn't open until like 7:45, 8 o'clock in the morning. So I had several hours just to kind of hang out at the airport. I couldn't really go anywhere. And so I would come up here to the observation deck very early in the mornings. And I believe I've got some pictures of them. If I do, I'll show them up on the screen. But it's interesting that I did not expect this in the demo version of I Am an Air Traffic Controller 5, and yet it's another type of or portion of a Japanese transport sim, in this case air traffic control, where it hits me a little bit personally, very interestingly. I don't I believe this is the domestic terminal, because I think the international terminal is over there, or it might be the other way. I can't remember exactly, because the observation deck I was on looked very different from the one that we're seeing here. In any case, let's go and see what else we got. Get away from these faceless NPCs.
So not too long after, in 2001, the sequel Bokukan 2 would be released. This marked the shift to 3D visuals, but still with the similar compact stylized airport and aircraft models from the previous game, as well as additional responsibilities like route and altitude separation in order to avoid mid-air collisions. The PSP would also receive several releases with this similar visual style under the Airport Hero title, a title that would continue to be used for future console releases. Each individual game representing a specific airport, with Japan receiving several titles and the US receiving one title representing Tokyo Haneda, available at the time as a digital download from the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, observation decks are pretty common at Japanese airports. Not something we really see in the US where I live, at least the airports that I've been to. They don't have these kind of outdoor observation decks, but in Japan, they're kind of everywhere, at least in Tokyo. The funny thing, too, is these observation decks make great dramatic scenes for Japanese dramas where someone is seeing off a loved one. So, yeah, they're a significant part of plane watching culture in Japan, and I guess just way of life in Japan too. People love to come up here and just look at planes in a similar manner to rail fans who like to hang out at train stations just to take pictures and check out trains, you know?
Now, once we get to 2008, Technobrain would release the third game in the series, Bokukan 3. Upping the realism and intensity, the game features more realistic aircraft and airport models. Soon after, the Nintendo 3DS would receive an immense amount of releases with a similar visual style, fittingly named Airport Hero 3D, featuring touchscreen controls and stereoscopic 3D visuals.
I haven't flown a lot of domestic flights in Japan. That terminal across the way, across the runway, I believe that's where I normally was. And yes, there is an observation deck right about here. Yeah, that has to be it. I'll have to look at the picture again and verify. But the way these planes are arranged here is the way they have these planes kind of here and then some more parked away from the building. That feels more like the international terminal that I was in. It reminds me more of that. And I believe once I look at the picture, I'll be able to confirm it more or less. She's getting something from the vending machine. Oh, plane taking off right there. It's always kind of interesting trying to see how you can get the best view. Another plane taking off right there. Oh, a plane coming in too. Wow. Following right up. Only 2 airlines, it looks like. I just realized space is misspelled. SAPC. They're gonna have to fix that in the main game.
And finally, beginning in 2015, the fourth title in this series, Bokukan 4, would release. A title that would see more of a worldwide audience thanks to its global Steam releases. Bokukan 4 improved the visuals once again with HD modern graphics, making the planes and airports more realistic than ever. Consoles like the Nintendo Switch and PS4 would also see similar HD releases once again under the Airport Hero title, both in and outside of Japan, but with Japan being the only region once again with physical versions, as well as versions featuring real-world airlines under their All-Star name. And that brings us to today, with the 5th game in this series still in development, and the demo here with only the terminal mode available, leaving a lot of the game and its features still a mystery, at least for now. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this little demo of what's to come in the I Am an Air Traffic Controller series and their 5th iteration, as well as the brief history showing how we got here. I'm really excited to feature more of this series on the channel in the future, and I've also got some plans for flight sims as well. But for now, thank you very much for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as it helps out the channel tremendously. And please make sure to check out more videos on the channel as well. And as always, more content to come on Japan Sim World. Please stay tuned. Bye bye.